Okay, I need to tell you about this book because I read it a few days ago and I genuinely haven't stopped thinking about it. It's called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. And I know the moment I say it's a book about time management, you're gonna kind of assume what's gonna say. Wake up earlier, plan your week better, use a system, be more disciplined. But it honestly says none of that. It actually says the opposite. It says that obsession with doing more isn't the solution, but it's the problem. Like that constant feeling of that you should be getting more done, moving faster, fitting more in, that's the whole problem. And I picked up this book at exactly the right moment because I have been stuck in that loop for a while. Always adding, never finishing. Feeling productive, but never feeling like it was enough. You know that feeling where you have a genuinely good day. You got everything done, you moved forward. And somehow, by the evening, you're already thinking about everything you still need to get done tomorrow. That's the loop I was in. And this book broke it for me. Not by giving me more habits, but by making me question why I was running so hard, so fast in the first place. So let me tell you what it actually says because I think you need to hear this. Here is where he starts. The average human lifespan is approximately 4,000 weeks. If you're lucky, 4,000 weeks. That's it, 4,000 weeks. That's all you have. If you're in your 20s, like me, you have roughly 3,000 left. 30s, 2,000 and a half. 40s, less than 2,000. And most of us go through our days with a vague sense that we have an unlimited amount of time ahead of us. That the real living starts after we get through this period, after we finish this project, after things settle down, after we get on top of things. But Borgman says this line, and it hit me harder than anything I almost read. The problem isn't that life is short. The problem is that we spend most of it trying to get on top of it, rather than actually living it. I read that and sat with it for a while because I recognized myself completely. Because how much of my day is actually living and how much of it is managing, preparing, optimizing, getting ready to live. He also talks about something he calls the efficiency trap. And the idea is this: the more efficient you become, the more you can fit in. And the more gets added to your list. So the reward of becoming more productive is never actually more free time. It's more to do. Think about email. When email was first invented, the idea was that it would make communication faster, easier, and more efficient. Less back and forth, less time wasted. And yes, it did make things faster. But what happened next? The volume of communication went up to match the increased capacity. People started expecting faster replies, more things got communicated that would have never been communicated before, and the net result wasn't less time on communication, it was more. The same thing happens here. When you get better at your work, when you find a faster system, when you optimize your morning, the freed up capacity almost immediately fills with new tasks, new demands, new things that weren't on the list before. And this is why the feeling of being behind never goes away, no matter how much you get done. That feeling that there is always more to do, and it has nothing to do with you not doing enough. There is a part of the book where the author talks about something he calls the finite nature of time, and the way we resist accepting it. He says most of us treat time as though it's a resource to be managed, like money, like something you can budget and allocate. And if you're smart enough about it, you will eventually have more. You will eventually have enough. But time isn't like money. You can't save it, you can't earn more of it, and you can't borrow it from next week. Every hour exists once, and then it's gone. And the way most of us respond to this is to actually squeeze more in, to move faster, to multitask, to be more efficient. But Burkeman says something that completely flipped this. He says the real response to having limited time is not to do more with it. It's to choose more carefully what you do with it. Not how can I fit more in, but of everything I could spend this hour on, what actually matters to me? And that's a completely different question. A harder question, I know, because it requires you to accept that you can't do everything. That choosing one thing always means not choosing 1,000 others. And most of us, myself very much included, avoid that acceptance by staying busy enough that we never have to make that choice. The part of the book that I think about the most is when Burkeman talks about procrastination, but not the way everyone else does. He doesn't say you procrastinate because you're lazy or undisciplined. He says you procrastinate on the things that actually matter the most to you, because those are the things where failure feels more threatening. You avoid starting the project that genuinely excites you because as long as it's unstarted, it's still perfect. It still has its potential. And the moment you begin, the gap between what you imagined and what you can actually do becomes real. And that gap is not very much comfortable. So you do the easier things. You clear the inbox, you do the tasks that feel productive, but don't actually require you to risk anything. And the thing that matters most to you stays on the list, waiting for the right time until you're more ready, until you've cleared enough of the other things. But the book says the right time is not coming. There will always be more on the list. You will never feel fully ready. The inbox will never be completely clear. The only moment you have to start the thing that matters most to you is this one. Now I want to talk about something he calls the joys of missing out. We all talk about FOMO, the fear of missing out, the anxiety that while you're here, something better is happening somewhere else. Someone else is doing more, living more, achieving more. But Burkeman flips this completely. He says the most meaningful life isn't the one that fits the most in. It's the one where you've actually decided what matters and let yourself be fully in it, not half there while thinking about everything else you should be doing. Fully there, in the meal, in the conversation, in the work, in the rest. And the only way to be there is accepting that you are simultaneously not somewhere else. That saying yes to this means saying no to everything else. And that's not a loss. That's what choosing actually means. The fact that you get to choose what you spend your time on is not a burden to be managed. It's the whole point. Not something to optimize, not a problem to be solved. The actual point of being alive with the limited time you have. After reading it, I stopped treating rest as something I needed to earn. I stopped treating the weekend as recovery time for the next week. I stopped measuring the value of a day by how much I got done in it. Not because I stopped caring about the progress, but because I understood that the obsession with doing more was actually keeping me from the things that I was doing it for. I was working so hard to build a life and missing the life while I was building it. And the book has this line near the end of it, and I want to leave you with, because I think this is the truest thing I have read this year. You get to be here, you get to have this experience, and the only way to waste it is to spend it wishing it was something other than what it is. If you've ever felt like no matter how much you get done, the list never gets shorter, the feeling of being behind never goes away, and the life you're building keeps feeling like it's just ahead of you, this book is for you. I highly recommend it. It's not gonna give you a better productivity system. It's gonna make you question why you needed one in the first place. Because I think that's exactly the right question you have to ask. I think it's gonna be it for today's video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And if you wanna keep up on watching, you can watch this one right here, where I explain why we no longer can focus.